الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ونبينا وحبيبنا وقدوتنا ومولانا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Respected brothers and sisters in Islam, firstly thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala once again. Allah has granted us the tawfiq and the ability to perform the Maghrib Salaah with Jama'ah. Alhamdulillah. We make dua, Allah accept our salah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us sincerity and istiqamah. Ameen Rabbil Alameen. My beloved brothers and sisters in Islam, when we reflect over the fact that Allah has made us believers, one of the outstanding qualities, or rather there's many outstanding factors and qualities that makes us a believer. We have our 5 daily salawat that stand out, where we pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala 5 times a day. We have the fasting in the month of Ramadan. We have our dress code, the way we dress, which is a sunnah of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, our appearance. And then there's also a very important aspect many times we forget about. And it's in actual fact one of the most important components of a believer and what makes a believer a Muslim. And that is none other than the character of a believer. The akhlaq and the character of a believer. In the past, people would deal with Muslims and the akhlaq and the way they would interact with the next person. Just by the akhlaq and the way they deal with it, they would know that they say this is a Muslim. Because this is the akhlaq and the qualities of a believer. And that's why Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, so many ahadith stresses the importance of akhlaq. That way he says that on the day of Qiyamah, the most heaviest on the scale of deeds will be good character. In one hadith, Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam was asked, Ya Rasulullah, what will be the reason most people will enter the Jannah? What will be the reason that most people will enter Jannah? Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, Taqwa Allah wa husnul khuluq. To be conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to have beautiful character. This is how important character is in Islam. And many times we give little attention to our character. Something we deem not so important. Sometimes we don't deem our character important. Sometimes we put more focus on how we look outwardly. And then we forget about this important characteristic of a believer, that is his akhlaq. And this evening, very briefly, we are in the month of Rabiul Awwal. The Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam reminded us that إِنَّمَا بُعِثْتُ لِأُتَمِّمَ مَكَارِمَ الْأَخْلَاقِ, that I was only sent, Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, I was only sent to this dunya to perfect the standard of character. This is one of the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam's priorities, is to correct the character of insan. So this evening we will spend a few minutes, as the ulama has mentioned, and not speak too much on the virtue of character, because the virtue of character we all know. We know what the reward is. I've mentioned a few hadith of good character. But this evening we spend a few moments on 4 hadith of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which the ulama has mentioned. If we bring these 4 hadith in our life, try to practice upon them, our character will be close to that of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the first hadith Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the ulama mentioned, is when Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam narrated an Abi Hurairah radiyallahu anhu, when Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam says that indeed man kana yu'minu billahi wal yu'min husn islam al-mar'i tarkuhu ma la ya'ni. The first hadith Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam says that an indication to the completeness of a person's iman is his ability to leave the unnecessary things. To leave those things that does not concern you. Occupy yourself, says Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, with the necessary things in life. And that's why Ibn Arabi rahimahullah mentioned, he says that we spend so much time with the unnecessary things. We don't have time. We all complain we never have time. We don't have time to do this. We don't have time for this. But still we find time to busy ourselves with unnecessary things. And when it comes to the necessary things we need to do, we don't make the time. And what are the necessary things the ulama mentioned? Firstly, you engage in the things which Allah has made fard upon us. Our salah on a daily basis. Many of us, we say we don't have time to perform salah, but we make time for everything else. So busy yourself with the things Allah has made fard, abstaining from the things Allah has made haram, taking time to reflect over our condition, over my condition as a person. Many times we make time, we don't have time to reflect over my condition as a person, but I have time to reflect over the next person's life and his mistakes and where he went wrong and what he should have done. But when it comes to myself, I don't make the time to reflect. So the first hadith says, the ulama, busy yourself with the necessary things. Stay away from the unnecessary things. It will get you nowhere if we occupy our life and our time with the unnecessary things in life. There's already too little time to do the necessary. Where do we get time for the unnecessary things? So this is the first hadith we need to implement. The second hadith taken from Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, narrated from also Abu Anas ibn Malik radiallahu anhu, where he says that لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى يحب لأخيه ما يحب لنفسه. That a believer will not reach a complete iman. A believer will not reach complete iman until he loves for his brother what he loves for himself. Today we're very selfish in our relationship with others. Sometimes we want success and I want for what I want for my children, my family. But further than that, we don't want it for the next person. Sometimes I want others to treat me in a certain way. But when it comes to me treating the next person, I don't care. And here we need to break many barriers. The barrier of the financial status in our communities. The barrier of the skin color. What is my surname and your surname? And many times based on these things, we treat others differently. Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, love for your brother what you love for yourself. Then your iman will be complete. Then your iman will be complete. So treat the next person how you would love to be treated. Imagine what the world will be. How different the world will be if everyone treats the next person like how he would want to be treated. So the second hadith we need to bring into practice is the ulama, that love for your brother what you love for yourself. The third hadith the ulama has mentioned, where Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says that man kana yu'minu billahi wal yawm al-akhir falyaqul khayran aw liyasmut. Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, whoever believes in Allah in the last day, he should either remain silent, he should either speak good or remain silent. If we can control the tongue, then half of our character is made. That's why they mention, they say that beautifully, that a person, when he knows when to speak, it's a sign of wisdom. And when he knows what to speak, it's a sign of knowledge. And when you know how to speak, is a sign of akhlaq and character. Today we speak how we want, when we want, and whenever we want. Not considering our speech. And Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam in so many hadith upon hadith, speaking about the dangers of the tongue. So the third hadith, if we want to improve our character, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, taken from the hadith, that control your tongue. If you don't have anything good to say, rather you can remain silent, keep quiet. It's better for us to keep quiet. And then the last hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, narrated by Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, where this person came to Rasulullah, says, Ya Rasulullah, awsini. Said, Ya Rasulullah, give me some advice. And Rasulullah replied, La taghdab. Do not become angry. And again he wanted the Rasul to say, La taghdab, la taghdab, fa'addada miraran. Rasulullah repeated these two words, continuous, numerous times. Do not become angry. When we can control our anger, my beloved brothers and sisters in Islam, then also a person's character will be made. Many times we regret the way we act sometimes when we become angry. What we say, how we behave. That's why the Rasul Sallallahu mentioned that إِنَّمَا الْغَضَبْ يُفْسِدُ الْأَمْرِ كَمَا يُفْسِدُ الْخَلَّ الْعَسْلِ. That indeed Anger spoils any affair, any matter, like how vinegar spoils the taste of honey. If you want to spoil the taste of that sweet and lovely honey, add some vinegar in it, will spoil it. Husband and wife, you have differences. The moment one of them loses the cool, everything goes haywire. Friends have the differences. The moment one of them loses their cool, becomes angry and loses the temper, everything goes out of control. Everything goes out of control. That's why it's important to, and that's why Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says the strong person is not the one who can get his opponent quickly down in a game of wrestling, but the strong person is the one who can control his anger. So my beloved brothers, sisters in Islam, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us of those who will bring these four hadith in our life. The first one is to busy and to stay away from the unnecessary things. Busy ourselves with that is necessary. Love for your brother, but you love for yourself. If you don't have anything good to say, then rather remain silent and do not become angry. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us of those who bring these ahadith into our life, so that on the day of Qiyamah we can be of those who our akhlaq will weigh heavy on our deeds. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. Subhanallah.